I'll call the Football City Council meeting for Thursday, February 20th to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Boddy. Here. Councilman Walker. Here. Mayor Wheaton.
Here.
Vice Mayor Eldridge. Here. Councilman Gilbert. Here. Five present.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to ask those that wish to do so to stand for the invocation given tonight by Pastor Josh Hodem of First United Pentecostal Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for this day that you've given us. Thank you for life, health. Thank you for the ability to serve. Lord, I ask for special blessings upon these servants tonight. Help their decisions reflect your desires. Help us all to be about your business and all that we do. We love you, we honor you, and give you praise for everything. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Item 3, consider approval of agenda as presented. Are there any changes?
Yes, Mayor, not really changes. I announced this at the work session on Monday, but we have added under 9, 2 items. One's about our March 20th meeting, and the second's about the permits for excavation of streets and right of way. So we have added those to the agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a motion on the agenda as amended?
So,
Motion made by Vice Mayor Eldridge, second by Councilman Gilbert. Any discussion from the public? Discussion from council? Okay, we'll go ahead and take a vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 5A, consider approval of minutes of council meeting held February 6, 2025. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Motion made by Councilman Baji, seconded by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Any discussion from the public? Discussion from council? Okay, vote on that.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. For the consent agenda, 6A, consider awarding bids for semi-annual paving, asphalt mix, milling, and mineral aggregate. 6B, consider awarding bid for gas line installation. And 6C, consider declaring a surplus vehicles and equipment. Do I have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Baji. Any discussion from the public? Discussion from council? Okay, we will vote on that.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. Moving into new business, 7A, consider authorizing special appropriations to the Public Building Authority for lighting improvements at the Leslie Town Center. Mr. Mills.
Mayor and council members, the Public Building Authority, which through a lease approved in 2004, operates and manages the Leslie Town Center for the city of Coble, has submitted a request for funding assistance to replace the lighting system in the Estes Williams Room. Bids were solicited by the PBA in January, and D&D Enterprises Incorporated was selected as the lowest bid meeting specifications in the amount of $69,355. This bid amount does not include replacement of ceiling tiles or possible rewiring. The PBA is requesting that the city pay at least half the cost, or at least $34,677.50 of the cost for replacing the lighting in this main conference room. The lease agreement provides that the PBA will keep the improvements on the property in a good state of repair and preservation as long as such repairs are necessitated by normal wear and tear. And this is a key part here, and I've highlighted this on the screen there. Major repairs such as the roof, exterior walls, foundation, HVAC system, and parking are the joint responsibility of the PBA and the city. So in most of these instances in the past, the city splits this with the cost with the PBA, although that's not always been the case. So in reviewing this, I'm not certain that a lighting replacement should be considered as a major repair. It's not specifically listed as one in the agreement, and I went through those just then about the roof, the walls, and so forth. Another concern is that I have is that we were not made aware of this replacement prior to approving this year's fiscal year's budget. If we had, we've been able to better plan for this. However, with all that said, you know, this is a very important facility for the city and the county. And I do believe some level of financial assistance would be appropriate. And I would recommend a minimum contribution of $15,000 to assist with the lighting system replacement. I see that Catherine's here. She told us she wasn't coming, but she's here tonight if you've got any questions for her. But my recommendation is to at least provide $15,000 in assistance for funding of the replacement of the lighting.
Thank you, Mr. Mills. Do I have a motion on that 7A item?
So moved.
Got a motion and a motion from Councilman Walker, second from Vice Mayor Eldridge. Any discussion from the public?
Yeah, can I dive it?
Yes, yeah, definitely, yes. Yeah, we had to do the motions and everything, and now, yes.
Perfect. I
Well,
wasn't sure.
let's clarify, is the motion, what is the motion exactly? To fund 50?
Move
I was gonna do it for the, and then-
fund as recommended by the city manager.
and then we're gonna, yeah, and then have some discussion. It's probably amended. Go ahead.
Perfect. So thank you. I just wanted to clarify that the Public Building Authority, we're not asking for a lighting improvement. We're asking for a lighting repair. So our current system, we're not trying to improve the current system. We're trying to repair the current system because the current system does not function properly. So with that being said, we do have 20 can lights that are in the facility right now on the walls that we do not have any light from. And we're just continuing to lose those because the ballasts that we currently have been discontinued and the company did not make a retrofit for those. So our current system, we've worked with Lutron, who is the one that put in the current system, as well as multiple electric companies to be told that our system cannot be repaired. So we don't have any option but to replace it. And with that being said, we are asking you guys to pay the 50% share of major repairs according to the lease agreement. So it is that $34,677. And we have done lease improvements to the facility without asking for that 50% share since I started there in 2021. So we have done things that we didn't ask for the share. So we are asking for that now to help with this. And we did not budget for this as well. This is something that we've been working on starting in June of last year. And we worked with, like I said, multiple companies, even like border states, to try to find anywhere to get these ballasts to continue to put Band-Aids on it. So unfortunately, our hands are tied as well. And we're just trying to get the system to continue to have lights in the building because we need them in that room.
Out of essential, yes. Okay.
Yes, but if you guys have any questions for me about anything regarding the lights?
I know we've got a motion and a second, so we can start having some discussion. You said that y'all have, since you've been there, it's in the agreement to put away 2,500 per year for things like this, but since you've been there, y'all been doing 5,000, correct?
Correct. So since 2021, so we currently have $44,000 in maintenance reserve. And since I've been there in 2021, we have put $20,000 in maintenance reserve. So we've done more than the obligated amount.
In total, y'all have 44 right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Does the Public Building Authority have the funds for this project on their own?
If we reallocated a lot of money, we could come up with it, yes, but it would hurt us, I think. We do have a lot of projects in the future that still need to get done that we have not budgeted for. And so in order to keep maintaining those things, that's why we were asking for the half. We did do several repairs. Like I said, since I started there in 2021, that we did not ask for the half. So like we've done the parking lot repairs. We did have replaced one HVAC unit that we didn't ask for the 50% share in. So I can't speak to anything prior to 2021, just because I wasn't there. But we didn't ask for a lot of it some of the time as well. So
Since you have the funds already, James, since we didn't budget for this, that's a pretty big chunk. Could we not do the 15 and then budget the remainder of that 50% in the next budget?
Yeah, I mean, you could include whatever you'd like to in terms of a contribution to the chamber in next year's budget. That's, like I said earlier, that was part of my concern is, I think you told me about this in December and we didn't budget for it. $35,000 is not a heck of a lot of money, but y'all have heard me say this, 20,000 here, 20,000 there, pretty soon it's real money. So we need to be careful and be good stewards. One other thing and I guess I want to ask Catherine this, we have plans, and Mary Beth helped work on this about doing some major improvements to the parking lot, the storm sewer. And what I'd agreed after discussion with the council, we estimated about 40,000. And the city has committed 30,000 to that. Will y'all still have the 10,000
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. We have to look at everything. I mean, we only have $44,000 in maintenance
Wow.
reserve, so we would be pulling from other things to try to get.
James, when would that project take place?
The parking lot?
Yeah.
Mary Beth, you've got the,
Ready to bid at any time, but it's like we didn't have it budgeted, so I'm trying to hold it until the next budget year.
Okay.
we've done temporary repairs. It should last for a while, but what that project is from the backside of the parking lot. There's a storm pipe that runs underneath the railroad track, and it's an old corrugated metal pipe, and the entire bottom of it's gone. And that's why the parking lot has collapsed. Now, we've repaired that, I believe, Kathy.
We have had 2 sinkholes in the parking lot.
Yeah,
correct.
so it's, okay. Well, don't call them sinkholes.
Aerobics calling about the same.
We've had some drainage issues.
Yes, we've 2 small issues that we've had repaired.
And it's
Yeah.
very clear, the parking lot is in the lease
Yeah.
agreement. That's a 50-50 match specifically stated in the lease agreement. And again, I think it's appropriate we help. It's just, again, we've not budgeted, and I don't know if you can work that, until we waited until June, July 1 is where it would be next fiscal year. But we're just now starting the budget process if you're talking about including money in next year.
Are we expecting, I may have missed this, are we expecting a 50% match on the repairs in the parking lot?
No, and I discussed this with y'all many months ago, we agreed to do more of a 75-25 on that because we knew that was a big hit for them. And we agreed to do 30,000. And also because part of this drainage goes underneath the railroad, it's not really technically part of their property. So we thought it would be fair to us to take the bulk of that, 30,000 and 10,000 to the PBA,
That's what the numbers is what I couldn't remember.
30 and 10.
And we enjoy the partnership with them. We appreciate hearing that you paid for some of the stuff too, but I think as recent as a year or two ago, there was a significant roof expense, and I think we paid all that. And so
Correct.
the hits keep coming. And
Yeah,
the joy of ownership, I can
yeah, I mean, we've had.
sympathize, but
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of our repairs obviously are not budgeted for, we've had roof leaks since that damaged thing. So, obviously we're doing the best that we can to ask for as little amount as possible.
Well, if they have 44 and they need 65, what if we just made up the delta?
And that's what I was saying.
well, I'm just saying, not 50, I'm just saying.
Oh, just budget for it next year.
And then the ceiling tiles, the extra wiring, whatever else, that's yours.
Well, if we do that, and I'm not arguing one way or the other, just to note that then they won't have the 10,000 they're gonna need to help
Wipe
us
them out.
cover the parking lot. And at some point, that's gotta be done. We could probably put that off until,
Yeah, when do you escrow? When do you make your deposits?
I don't,
How much have you spent? You said you did some without our help. How much is that total?
So since I started there, we've done a little over $150,000 worth of leasehold improvements. And the city has paid a little over $35,000.
That's a substantial number, and I think that's great that you guys have moved so much forward. I think my biggest concern is just like the timing of the budget and how we set a precedent for any other groups or anybody that needs assistance from the city in this manner. And so, I think it would be important for us to keep up the Leslie Town Center. We are the majority owner with the county being the other partial owner in that. And it is a great facility for our community. And so I support everything you guys are doing over there. I think you guys offer an amazing facility. It's been well used by the community. So I can appreciate all that. I'd be in favor for approving what James recommended, but I'm also inclined to think that when it comes budget time and if we can hold some money aside in the budget to reimburse some of these funds, that's okay as well. It's just important to do that through the budget process and plan these repairs out.
well, we can do that. I do think it's only fair to point out too that what a great job Catherine has done there. I don't know if y'all remember, but they were impacted greatly by COVID. They couldn't rent the facility. And, when you go through 2 years or something like that, And that's part of the reason why we went ahead and paid for the whole part of the roof, which was $112,000 to help them, because we do recognize, I recognize the great job Catherine does for the facility, but also the importance of the facility to the city and to the county. But again, we want to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. I know each of y'all do. I would think that would be something that could be worked out if you guys can float the amount until July 1, that you could put some money in there. We could add some additional funds for this.
Is that an option, do you think?
Yes, ma'am.
When do y'all plan on starting work on this?
June 16th.
Okay, so that
We have a 10-day period closed off where we're not accepting any events in order to have the work done. Just because we were trying to wait as long as we could. But the lights just keep going out, and I have clients that are like, hey, can you put a light bulb in that light? And I can't.
It's not a light bulb, yeah.
Nope,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's not what's gonna help it. Okay.
Yeah.
Timing's gonna work out.
Just one other discussion point, and I don't
Yes,
expect you to solve it here now, but there's no way $5,000 a year is going to be able to keep up with the agreement that we have.
Yeah, we only are obligated to the 2,500, but we do more.
We are only obligated to split these.
Yeah,
costs with-
yeah. We've
We're
done
here-
as much
we're
as we
talking about
possibly can.
These obligations.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
I think that's what we could probably discuss with budget season
Yeah.
is sit down, look at everything and say, hey, what is a good relationship
Right.
here? How do we need?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, my first full fiscal year with the town center, we put 10,000 away. So we've been trying to put, and that was kind of a big thing when I started to like, hey, we need to put as much, but we drained everything for COVID. I mean,
All I'm saying
we
is
were
maybe
really
time-
hurt for
it may
that
be
time.
As you're revisiting,
Yeah.
or it may be time to revisit how much is getting
Okay.
escrowed, because of just the idea that $5,000 a year is going to keep pace with
Correct.
these type of repairs.
We're a 23-year-old
It's
facility, yeah.
silly, Yeah. Okay.
One other thing to note is that the council appoints the members of the PBA. I mean, you can have that conversation with the members as they're appointed that,
We need to see some
we
type
need to see
of,
about
yeah.
some more money.
movement
being put
towards
away to help
a better
cover
way to
costs,
figure out
because
those
that is
savings.
important.
Yeah.
But, they run a tight ship and they're only limited to the amount they can, revenue they can generate from a facility. And if you don't have lighting, I understand the logic
Yeah.
here. If they can't rent it, how they're gonna make any?
Yeah.
Turn the lights on, you can't do anything in there.
Start.
And it is a very old building. I mean, it's been here a long time.
Correct. And that's why we've done the
There's
projects
several
that we've
decades
done.
Buildings need to be.
Yeah, and that's why we've done the projects we've done since I started, was because we were trying to get everything up to date. It's just, this is kind of the last thing, and we were trying to hold off as long as possible. When we looked at this before I started, they were given a quote of like $200,000 to redo it. So they were like, hey, no, we're just going to Band-Aid. And we bought as many ballasts as we possibly could at the beginning of 2024. And I was not told by that company that they weren't going to make a retrofit for it. So they discontinued it and then didn't make a retrofit and didn't inform us. So we weren't able to, we're kind of put in a bad situation by them.
When do you want to
June,
start
she
the work?
said.
June.
Yeah, we have it scheduled for June 16th for 9 days, a 9-day
So I
period.
think the motion the amended motion we've got is to do the 15 now, and then when budget session comes up for us in June, budget for the remainder. Correct? Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Additional 20,000?
Additional-
Is it to revisit it in the context of the budget?
I think at a minimum, we discuss the additional amount that you've requested now. But it would be nice for us to know if there's any other new improvements in the pipeline, where we really need to be and what we need to budget for going forward
And how they're going to.
and structure it. Yeah.
Mhm.
I know we've got one plan that we'll talk about when we get into budget time. So we got a motion to do the 15,000. We need to amend the motion to also request that staff look at including in next year's budget, the additional 20,000. We can round it up.
That, that make our half.
Is that what I'm hearing?
We're gonna.
Yes,
That y'all want to do? Is that the intent?
So I need someone to make that
I'll make that
motion.
motion to
To amend?
amend the current
How you do it
motion
there?
to the 20,000 this next budget year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 15,000 now, amending it also to add 20,000 in the budget session
I
on top
second.
of more discussion that we're going to have to figure out how, if there's other budget things that they need.
Additional items.
Yeah.
Yes.
I second his motion.
I've got a motion from Councilman Baji. I've got a second from Councilman Walker
For the amended
for
motion.
the amended motion. Yeah, motion as amended.
Approve that.
Any more discussion from council?
Okay.
Darren, we good?
Yeah, so
Okay.
you will be voting on.
The motion is amended.
As amended.
Yes. Is that all right? All right. So motion and second, we're going to be voting on the motion as amended for the 15,000 and then adding the 20,000 and having more discussion next budget session. Correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Any more discussion? Okay, go ahead and vote on the motion as amended.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. And that closes that out, right, Darren?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we will move on to, thank you, Catherine, for all that, for up there and all the questions and everything. You did a great job. All right, we'll move on to 7B, consider approval of engineering contract amendment number 2 for the water treatment plant expansion project. Mr. Turner.
Mayor and members of the council, this contract is with a consulting engineer who designed the water plant improvement. The construction has been delayed in part where we added the chemical building renovation there where we had to take the roof off and such, and for weather delays and some other delays that the contractor is incurring, which it was going to add about 9 months to the project. This contract amendment just adds for contract administration, construction administration, and for on-site resident project representative. So this total add is for $218,200 to the engineering contract, and I recommend your approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Motion made by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Gilbert. Any discussion from the public? Discussion from council? Okay, I'll vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 7C, consider authorizing the city manager to execute a city sewer extension cost share agreement with Cookville 1. Which one? Cookville I, sorry, I couldn't remember that. LLC to extend sanitary sewer on Mine Lake Creek Road. Mr. Turner.
Developers proposed a subdivision on Mine Lake Creek Road. It's sort of that northern property there that's in red, shaded red. And to get sewer to that, needs to connect to sewer and Park West subdivision. We have negotiated a cost share agreement with them to extend this sewer up. The estimated cost of this is, yeah, shoot, let me get my glasses on here. The estimated cost to extend this up there is about $653,000. The portion of that is to tie on or put services for the 42 parcels that we're passing on the way to the subdivision. So that's roughly 150,000. We would split the remainder of the cost 50-50, which would be about $253,000 each on that. Those are estimated numbers. We would do the contract. The developer is supposed to get construction pricing, which we would have the math spelled out how we would do this. We're capping ourselves at 400,000. If the bids come in higher, it's up to the developer to make up the difference of that. There's estimated 49 lots in the subdivision. And one thing I want to point out, by doing the cost share, the tap fees in the lot are $2,200 per lot instead of $1,000 if he just did the whole thing. So we're gaining extra on the per lot there as well. So I'd recommend your approval on this agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Motion made by Councilman Baji. Is there a second? Second by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Any discussion from the public? Discussion from council?
Will all of Park West get service?
No. You can see the purple line sort of on the bottom of the U there on the left. So that already has sewer as part of that last cost share we did. So where the wording Park West subdivision, that road through there, and I can't remember the name of that road, would not have sewer, as well as a couple of cul-de-sacs off of it. And then on the eastern edge, a little backwards C there would not have sewer, but the remainder of the subdivision would have.
Are we, when we, is there any annexation obligations here to get the rest of them sewer or?
No,
Okay.
But I know that is a portion that there has been an ask for it. And so that's
Yeah.
going to help finish that out and then.
I'm just wondering while the eggs are broken and we're making the omelet, is it better to try and reach and get them too?
probably not within the same project just because of the way we're doing a cost share agreement. And that was one reason that we sort of held off in trying to look at that even when the other one come, because we felt like we may have another cost share agreement coming. So which we're glad to see that we do have. No, not another. I'm saying this was looking for something like this one to get part of the subdivision. So that doesn't leave that much for us to, do in another project later.
Once this is done, yeah, that does open the door though to finish out the project that we could.
Do we want to explore having them give a bid alternate to catch that too while they're there? And I mean, we can decide if we want to execute that or not.
I think that would be a hardship based on the timeline that their developers trying to meet.
What if we rebid it as a separate project and a separate bid right now, and hopefully we get a good bid? Because the timeline works out.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just.
That way it's a separate.
Am I looking at this wrong? It just feels like it's a weird omission.
Well, we're looking at, the way I'm sort of looking at it more is that the developer needs sewer, he's getting sewer, and we're getting the benefit of getting services to these other properties. We haven't budgeted to do this subdivision this year. So, during the budget process, we'd be happy to look at it and do that.
Okay.
But
How old is it? How much time on their septic have they got? Have we had any failures out there or anything that you know of?
It's 20.
not that I've heard of, but that's, well, the only one I heard is we got in that first phase, but there may be some others there.
Okay. Yeah.
It's about 25 years old, the subdivision is, maybe a little older, 30 years old.
I think, yeah, I agree. If we're going to be doing work or if we're already doing, if we're digging up the dirt, why don't we go ahead and see,
At least look at it.
and maybe look at it. Yeah. Okay.
But I mean,
But for-
but it's on totally different streets, just like we did the first phase on a different street. It didn't impact these people. We did that. So.
And not to press too hard, I understand the timeline of the developer, but the bid alternate could be, they could come back and get it, after they've got him what he needed. It is a thought. But
Yeah, I'd rather do it as a separate project, but I'll do whatever the council desires.
When does this project start? When do you start putting a backhoe in the ground?
As part of this agreement, he's required to get the engineering done. He's planning on having houses there in October.
Wow.
Now that's,
Yeah, I think
25?
yes.
That's impressive.
Well, that's his plan. I will see.
Miles getting it done. Just take your time over there.
That's great. Is he digging footers today?
So are y'all good with accepting this the way it is, but then also having, okay, all right. So we've got a motion and a second for the way it is, and then we'll revisit with the new budget session as well and see.
Thanks for working this out. I'm not picking holes at it. I know there's a lot of work goes into negotiating this. It just, thanks.
Okay.
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Okay, go ahead and vote on this.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 7D, consider awarding bid for 2025 South Creek Area Low Pressure Sewer Project. Mr. Turner.
This South Creek area is an area that was promised sewer when it was annexed a little under 20 years ago, back in 2007. We have taken bids to serve the areas that's shown in red. And Madewell Construction was the low bidder at a cost of $1,229,520. We received 3 bids, and I recommend approval from Madewell Construction.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Motion made by Councilman Bocci. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Any discussion from the public? Discussion from council? Okay. Go ahead and take a vote on this.
All votes correct. Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
sir. 7E, hold a public hearing on the annual progress report of the plans of, I didn't practice saying all these. On the plans of service for the following annexation areas: Old Bridge Road, Falling Water River Road, Buck Mountain Road, Dry Valley Road area, East Highway 70 North, Interstate 40 area, West Cookville Interstate 40 area, Shagrad Road area, Rebecca Place, Bunker Hill Road area, Bunker Hill Road, Lovelady Road area, Free Hill Road, North Washington Avenue area, South Willow Avenue area, Bennett Road Extension area, Old Stewart Road area, Mackey Road area, Putnam County Fairgrounds area, and Nelson North Drive annexation area. Mr. Ward.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Since 1998, municipalities have been required to prepare and publish an annual report and hold a public hearing on the progress of implementing plans of services for annexation areas until the plans of services are fully implemented. The city of Cookeville has annexed 25 areas that require annual reports. Plans of services have been fully implemented for 13 of these areas. The most recent are included in the report I'm giving to you tonight. The locations of the 12 areas where services specified in the plans of services remain to be completed are depicted on the displayed map. A comprehensive annual report for these annexation areas was recently published in the Herald Citizen. We'll start with Old Bridge Road and Falling Water River area. Sanitary sewer service is the only service remaining to be provided in this annexation area. The plan of services specified that sewer would be provided based upon the same criteria, standards, and policies used to determine the expansion of sanitary sewer service in the unserved portions of the present corporate limits. Construction of sanitary sewer improvements for a portion of this area was completed in 2015. That provided sewer to 111 parcels. In 2018, sewer service was extended to an additional 9 parcels on Boyd Ferris Road. Approximately 63 parcels remain without sewer service in that annexation area. All services have been provided in the Buck Mountain Road, Dry Valley Road area with the exception of sewer. The plan of services specified that sewer would be provided based upon the same policies used to determine the expansion of sewer service in unserved portions of the corporate limits. In 2023, sewer was extended to 26 parcels in the area along Buck Mountain Road and South Dry Valley Road. In the East Highway 70, Interstate 40 area, all services have been provided except for sewer. The plan specified that sewer would be provided based upon the same policies used to determine sewer expansion in unserved portions of the city. 2 phases of public sewer installation have been completed, serving approximately 165 parcels. In 2022, a sewer project provided sanitary sewer to 7 parcels along Highway 70. Construction began in December 2024 for a project to provide sewer service to 25 parcels along South Dry Valley Road and Highway 70 East. All services have been provided in West Cookeville I-40 area except for sewer. The plan specified that sewer would be provided based upon the same policies used to determine the expansion of sewer in unserved areas of the city. The design for the placement of a water line along Mine Lake Creek Road and on several streets off Mine Lake Creek Road to improve fire protection in the area has been completed. Water quality control delayed bidding that job to evaluate the need for and location for easements if Mine Lake Creek Road was realigned or improved. Water quality control does report that parts, if not all of this project is expected to bid in 2025. A sanitary sewer extension project was completed from I-40 through parts of Park West and to parcels near the I-40 interchange, providing 40 parcels with access to sewer. The Cookeville Energy Department has determined that the area is fully served by electric service and street lighting. And this is also the area that would see additional extensions with the contract Barry presented to council tonight. All services have been provided to the Shagrad Road area except sewer. The plan specified that sewer would be provided based upon the same criteria, standards, and policies used to determine expansion of sewer in unserved portions of the city. A project was completed in 2024 that provided sanitary sewer to 22 parcels along Shagrad Road. That leaves 5 parcels in the area without sanitary sewer service. In the Rebecca Place, Bunker Hill Road area, all services were provided Except sewer, the plan again, the plan here specified that sewer service would be provided within 20 years of the effective date of annexation, which was January 21st, 2007. Sewer has been provided to two parcels in Rebecca Place in 2010. In 2024, a house in Rebecca Place, Phase 3, experienced septic issues and sewer was extended to serve that home. Bids were opened on January 28, 2025 for a construction project to extend sewer to an additional 3 parcels in this area. An engineering contract was approved in May 2024, which included the design for the remaining unsewered parcels in that area. The Bunker Hill Road, Lovelady Road area, also services have been provided except sewer. The plans, again, here specified that sewer would be provided within 20 years after the effective date of annexation, which was September 2nd, 2007. In 2023, a sewer construction project provided sewer access to 20 parcels in the area, as well as a new residential subdivision that's currently under development. Again, bids were opened on January 28th for a project to extend sewer to the remaining unsewered parcels in this area that council approved in an earlier action. The Free Hill Road area, all services have been provided except sewer. The plans specified that sewer would be provided within 25 years of the effective date of annexation, which was October 17th, 2009. All services have been provided in the South Willow Avenue area as specified in the plan, with the exception of sanitary sewer. The plan of services specified that sewer would be provided based upon the same policies used to determine expansion of sewer in the unserved portion of the current city limits. In the Bident Road extension area, again, all services are provided except sewer. The plan specified sewer would be provided under the same policies used to determine the sewering unserved portions of the city. The sanitary sewer line under I-40, which was required to provide service north of the interstate, was completed in 2016. In 2018, a low-pressure sewer system was installed, which provided sewer service to 79 tracks along Highway 70 and adjacent streets. In 2022, a sewer extension provided service to 2 parcels along Highway 70 and Locust Grove Road. In 2023, a sanitary sewer extension provided sewer service to 2 parcels, one of which will be the future home of the Putnam County Fairgrounds. For the Old Stewart Road area, all services have been provided except sewer. The plan specified sewer would be provided under the same policies used to determine the expansion of sewer in unserved portions of the city. As part of the I-40 interchange project, a sewer line was installed along Tennessee Avenue, serving 5 parcels, and eliminated a pump station that served Academy Sports. A sewer extension was completed in 2022, which leaves only 3 parcels, and one of those is a parcel owned by the city of Cookeville. Another is an out parcel that's owned by Academy Sports that are currently not served by sewer. For the Mackey Farm area, all services have been provided except sewer. The plan specified sewer would be provided when economically feasible and based on the same policies used to determine the expansion of sewer in unserved portions of the present corporate limits. Construction began in December 2024 for a project that will provide sanitary sewer access to 6 parcels in the area. The Cookeville Energy Department is continuing to work with the UCEMC for the completion of installation of street lighting. All services have been provided to the Putnam County Fairgrounds area as stipulated in the plan of services. Sanitary sewer was provided to the annexation area upon the effective date of annexation. No future reports will be given on that annexation area. And the last area, the Nelson North Drive annexation area, water is being provided by Double Springs Utility. Sanitary sewer was provided to the property when the annexation was provided to the property upon the effective date of annexation. The city does have limited sewer capacity in the Cane Creek Sewer Drainage Basin, and no additional units are permitted until sewer capacity is added to the Cane Creek Pump Station for that annexation area. All city services have been provided in the annexation area as stipulated in the plan of services, and no future reports will be given for that area. That includes the report for all the annexation areas. And Barry Turner's happy to answer any questions if the council has any.
Thank you so much for that. Do I have a motion on 7E?
So moved.
Got a motion from Vice Mayor Eldridge. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Baji. This is a public hearing, so we'll open the public hearing portion for this. Is there anyone who'd like to speak on this agenda item? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing portion. Any discussion from council?
It's a good sign that we're moving along.
I feel like it got shorter. Yeah. uh-huh.
So if you
Check.
speak, especially on the sewer and the services should
Should
be.
have 3 removed. If we may possibly add more though this year. So, you know.
Never mind them. Any more discussion? All right, we'll go ahead and take a vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much. That concludes the agenda portion of the meeting. Is there anyone who'd like to speak to the council on any non-agenda items? Oh, hi, both of y'all, yes. Come up to the podium if you don't mind saying your name, where you live, 3 minutes, and happy to hear from you.
Good evening. My name is Becca Duncan. I'm the Director of Helping Hands of Putnam County and also one of the people that is in charge of Cookeville Community Cares, which right now we're doing the emergency homeless shelter that most people are familiar with. First off, I'd like to say thank you to Lauren. When we first opened up, we weren't sure where we were going to open. It was a last minute decision where we couldn't be at the rescue mission. And the county came through and got us the community center, which was not ideal, but it worked for what we needed at the time. Lauren was one of the first people that came by to check and see what it was that we needed, how we were doing, those kinds of things. I also have something to read, but Luke, I also want to say, because I know it's not in our notes, Luke spent about 2 hours there the other night helping people try to get jobs, that kind of thing. That is our ultimate goal. And so I'll start by saying that. And then if anyone has any questions. So over the past few months, our collective efforts have directly impacted the lives of our unhoused neighbors, providing critical support and resources that improve both individual outcomes and community well-being. With the funding entrusted to us last year, we have served over 100 individuals this season. We were open 10 days at Thanksgiving. We were open 30 days in January, and we will be open 8 days this round. So we're hoping to close on Monday, which would give us another 8-day stint. So we have assisted with obtaining essential legal documents. We have helped them with health insurance. We help them with food stamp forms, prescriptions, job employment. We've established stable locations where individuals can receive mail. You put one barrier in front of someone like this and it becomes this huge thing. People like you and I don't understand that, but something as simple as receiving their mail can make the difference of them getting Social Security, food stamps, all of those kinds of things. We will be open on Fridays, even after we close at the United Church of Cookeville. They have offered to, they've been an integral part of making this work this year. And we will be open from 9 to 1 every Friday, regardless of the weather, so that they can come and get their mail, they can get showers, do laundry, those kinds of things. So we're trying to put those things into place as well. We've provided peer support. We've tried to provide all the services that build dignity and stability. Beyond the direct services, our work, we believe, and we're asking Brandon over at Emergency Management to try to help us figure out the numbers, but we do believe that when we pull the numbers, we will have saved the city and the hospital money by providing those services, keeping them housed, and those kinds of things. We've also been able to utilize the community response team that is a grant-funded response team that is available, and I say this to anyone in the community because it has been perfect for us, but from 3 to 11, Monday through Friday, we can call them and they will dispatch a mental health counselor and a paramedic. So it leaves our 911 free from just doing regular 911 things. It also keeps the police away when we don't need them, and we can kind of de-escalate things without that. We have tried to secure, like I said, future housing for them. We've helped them with their applications. In January, we got a blind gentleman. He came here, he was on a bus. He got sick, was dropped off here. We were able to get him on his way back to Florida. But most importantly, we've fostered connection, something vital to recovery and transformation. This work is not done alone, but through united community effort, demonstrating that we will invest in people. When we invest in people, we create lasting change. Our next steps, our goal is to have a need for a permanent low barrier shelter. We do work with the mission. We can't be in the same facility. We don't have the same mission. But we're able to pick up the phone and say, how many beds do you have available, and that kind of thing. But we do different work than they do. And so our goal is to have a permanent low barrier shelter. While we've made significant progress, our city still lacks a permanent low barrier shelter, a critical resource that would allow us to further improve outcomes for our unhoused neighbors. A stable, accessible shelter would provide safety, reduce the strain on emergency services, and serve as a foundation for connecting individuals to long-term solutions, including housing, employment, and healthcare. We need the support of our city leadership, local organizations, and community members to make this happen. Together, we can build a sustainable solution that ensures no one in our city is left without a safe place to turn. We appreciate your continued support as we work to make this vision a reality. We could not have done this without the community. If we put out a post that says, we need food on this day, food just appears. We have people that come and pick up laundry to take laundry and all of those things. Last year, we asked for the $5,000. We'll be applying for more again. But some of the things that are not covered are things like United Church of Cookeville's utility bill for 30 days of housing over 50 people each night, and their water bill and those kinds of things. So more than anything, it's not about the money. That's not why we're here. We're just here to say thank you.
Thank you. There's a, yeah.
Well, what she said. So this is, this started out as a kind of really emergency thing 3 years ago. And it has become a community. It's a mutual aid effort that we're doing, right? The county helps, the city helps, the churches help, the individual citizens help. And we are making a difference, and our desire is to get people off these streets when it comes down to it and get them back to independence. It's amazing, the barriers. Like she was talking about, I mean, I helped a girl run around today, go to one place, find out she needed this one thing. And I'm like, well, you don't have a car. She didn't have a cell phone. I'm like, you would never get this done without help, or be very difficult. And so one thing I want to bring up, because there's a perception as to what unhoused and homeless people are, right? What we've learned is that is a false perception. If you come into our facility, so many of these people, they're not on drugs at all. A lot of them don't have mental health issues. A lot of them do, right? But a lot of them, it's just like, maybe they came up out of the foster care system, had no place to go. Maybe they were elderly, and wherever they were renting, it got sold out from under them. Maybe they're fleeing domestic abuse at that point in time. And whatever it was, it broke them. And it broke them all the way down, and it put them on the streets. And so these are the people that we're dealing with. And so thanks to the community support, we are dealing with it, though. So thank you.
Thank you, Blair. Yes, thank y'all. And I'll say, thank you for what you're doing, because it was a need and there was no one doing it. And y'all stepped up and did it every which way you could. So thank y'all for what you're doing, and glad to hear you're applying to get some more money from the city. So thank you very much for that. Anything else?
You know, I applaud, we talk a lot about this. And so I applaud you guys for everything that you do, no doubt. Blair, you and I have talked how multifaceted this issue is in individuals. But they're doing a really good job. They know the ones that are seeking the help they want. And they also know the ones like we know that are just doing the thing. And so I commend you and appreciate everything that you guys do. So, and just on a note, typically a national stat says that about $14,000 is what a homeless person does cost the local city when it comes to everything. So appreciate you guys helping us out in that for sure.
Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to speak to the council? Okay, and now we've got some other items that we need from Mr. Mills. 9A, announcing the cancellation of the March 2025 meeting. I guess I just announced it.
You
There
did.
you go. Look at me. Yes, sorry, I stole your thunder there. So we will be canceling the March 20th meeting. And I'll let you report the rest, Mr. Mills.
Okay, well, over the past several months, I know council, I've spoken to you about this. We have had some issues with unauthorized excavations within our streets and right of ways. This has resulted in unannounced street closures. And also, I guess more importantly, it's, we believe, created unnecessary damage to our streets. Our policy, the city's policy is to require wherever possible boring under a street instead of open cutting. And I'm sure we've got several citizens that would testify that a street's never the same once it's been cut. So Title 16, Chapter 5, Section 16502, which is on the screen, provides that it's unlawful for any person, firm, corporation, association, or others, including utility districts, to make excavations in or under any street, so forth, without first obtaining an excavation permit. There are two primary reasons we want to require a permit. First is simply to make us aware that an activity is happening. That way we can go through the notice about street closure and so forth. Second, the permit process will allow us to determine if there's an alternative to excavating the street or the right of way. Can we bore instead of cutting the street? And that's our goal here. Or can we reroute so you don't cut the street? So staff, in particular, Mary Beth and John, have developed a new permit form, which is on the screen here. Also, all companies that we are aware of, having previously done work within our streets, are being notified by the Public Works Department about the new permit form and the requirements for obtaining a permit. Now, that same section of the municipal code also has specifications for repairs of the street. We want to make sure that people who are doing this type of work are aware of all their obligations to the city. The new permit form will be required effective tomorrow. And if you've got any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Thank you very much. Any comments from the council on that?
Does this include the right-of-way areas beside the street?
Yes, it does.
Thank you for clarifying. Okay, anybody else? All right, go ahead. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, James.
Please come
Sorry.
clear if you want.
Sorry, Jane.